Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Chats with Coach Candy. I'm Coach Candy and I am so excited to see you. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your juice, grab your water, grab whatever it is that gets you rep and running on a fabulous new week and Monday and start of a new month. Good morning, Deborah. How are you? Great to see you. It is a new month. Welcome to July. I cannot believe we are halfway through this year. It is insane to me. I do not know where the time has flown. I have got some exciting things for you guys this month, as it is my birthday month. Good morning, Patricia. It is my birthday month, so we are going to share some surprises and gifts and announcements and specials and all kinds of fun stuff, because I love to celebrate. I believe every birthday is important, and I'm going to talk about that next Friday on my actual birthday, why we should celebrate birthdays and why they're so great, regardless of your age. It is a day to celebrate. So I'm going to celebrate all month. I'm going to celebrate with all of you, so hang tight for today because I have some announcements at the end, and I have a special gift to share with you for those of you that might be interested and excited. So anyway, good morning, ladies. How's everyone doing? Deb, that makes me so happy. Well, extra bonuses then, yay, because there's even more bonuses in the Yes Monthly program. So I'll be doing some on Facebook Live, some periodically throughout the month, and then lots of bonuses on our Facebook Lives and our training calls for Yes Monthly. So yay, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to me, and happy birthday to any of you other July babies who are Cancers or Leos. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good morning, Pat. It's so great to see everyone this morning. It is Monday, and we're going to do a little mindset stuff. Good morning, Martha. Welcome back. So great to see you. We are going to kick some things off. And so for those of you, I know we get some new people all the time jumping on. So I just want to refresh what we do here every morning. This is Coffee Chats with Coach Candy. We get into just all kinds of topics. Today is going to be Monday Mindset. We do a Tuesday training piece, Wednesday Wonder, which is the dance in the possibilities. And then we get into Thursday Thanks or Thursday Thoughtfulness. Good morning, Pat. And Friday Feature, which is where I share some of the amazing tools and resources or mentors and gurus of mine. Good morning, Jimenez. Welcome. Wow, I haven't seen some of you people jumping on this morning. I love this. Good morning. Good morning. Wow, we're going to have a great Monday. Happy July. Happy Monday. So good to see everyone here. And so I do go live every morning, 7:30. We are here. We have some awesome, rich, juicy conversation. And today we're going to dig into some more things around the noise. And as I mentioned a minute ago, because it is my birthday month and because I believe in celebrating full out and big. Good morning, Jeff. Welcome. I am also going to share with you a gift and surprise at the end to kick things off, as I'm going to be sharing all kinds of gifts and fabulous things all month long. So you do not want to miss Facebook Lives because they are here, they are for you. And I just want to celebrate that it is my birthday month. So anyway, with that being said, let's jump into some more of the noise. I know we've been talking about all kinds of things that show up in the noise. And for those of you just joining for the first time, when we talk about the noise, we're really talking about, it breaks down into an acronym, right? And so the noise is the N is the negative self-talk, filters, and frames you're creating. It's a lot of that self-limiting, self-deprecating head trash we got going on. The O is the opinions of others you're choosing to internalize. The I, which we're going to get into today, is about the inefficiencies. It's about the crazy inefficiencies, the wasted energy, the space you're creating in your daily activities that's keeping you from playing at your highest and best level. It's keeping you from playing full out. And oh yeah, yay for my birthday. I love Cancers too. Thank you. And so then we're also going to talk about the S at some point around the shoulding you're doing all over yourself. And yes, if you think I said something else, doesn't matter. It's the same thing, whether you're shoulding or shoulding. You are doing, burying yourselves in layers of that crap. And then the E is the excuses that you're creating and perpetuating. And so we're going to kind of dance in these. Good morning, Melissa. We're going to dance in some of these different spaces periodically. And today I want to really bring it in because it actually sets us up for the gift I'm going to share at the end to kick off my birthday month. I want to talk about the inefficiencies you're creating in your daily activities. And so oftentimes people, and you may be one of those people guilty saying, there's not enough hours in the day. I don't have enough time. I'd love to do that, but, right? We do the yeah, but all over ourselves and we end up shutting things down. What we don't realize oftentimes is our calendar is jammed out with all kinds of noise and nonsense and wasted stuff that's not letting us play to our highest and best capacity. And so for many of you, you've got things on your calendar that absolutely have no business being there. And so first of all, how many of you are guilty of saying there's not enough hours in the day? If I only had 12 more hours, if there was only 36 hours in the day, if there was only 48 hours in the day, I just need more hours in order to do all these things. Raise a hands if any of you are guilty of that coming out of your mouth in any way capacity. The other thing is, how many of you are my yes people? How many of you say yes to everything without giving it space, without thinking? You're so afraid to disappoint someone. You're so afraid to let someone down that you find yourself signing up for every committee, every request. You're taking other people's work at work. You're doing things for your family where you could be handing things over and delegating. And so you're enabling this space of, yeah, hand clap, right? You're enabling the space where people know that they can just, you're the go-to person, right? How many of you have that nickname? You're the go-to person, right? They know they can count on you. No, they know they can dump on you. So I want you to realize if you are one of those people that's the go-to person, that's the yes person, you are also the person that is the dumping ground for everyone else. Because if you say yes to everything and have not learned, yeah, Pat Duck, we're absolutely guilty. And I have to say I teach this, and sometimes I still have to remind myself of what I teach, right? Because I teach what I need to learn as well. I've gotten much better. I used to absolutely be the person. I sat on every committee, and I didn't just sit on a committee, I had to take a leadership role. So I was constantly taking these things, one, because I was afraid that people wouldn't think I was valuable. So I put a lot of value into all of the events and balls I was juggling and plates I was spinning because I thought somehow that dictated my worth. Didn't realize that that was part of what caused my burnout 10 years ago when I hit rock bottom in corporate. And so I want you to think about that. Are you in that space? Oh, Melissa, nice face. I love that. Because if you are that person, and while you think your intention is, I want to serve, I want to be there for everyone, I couldn't possibly say no, know that you're doing the opposite. Because you are a dumping ground. And what happens is you are depleting your energy, you're depleting your highest and best gifts. You're depleting the very thing that you could be sharing that could really be serving in a big capacity, because you're doing everybody else's grunt work, everybody else's crap work for that matter, and you're allowing yourself to just take all of it. You just take it, piles of it, over and over and over again, and what you don't realize is your brilliance, your magnificence is actually being diminished because of it. And so I want you to think about that a little bit. Needed to hear that this week. Awesome. It's why we go into these spaces, right? The noise is so relevant. And we're going to talk about these two pieces because one of the reasons that we have these inefficiencies is because we have, and there's two little I's, and I'm only going to talk about one of them today, and then we're going to get into another one on another day. But the first baby I in the big I is that you have an inability to say no to the things that aren't for you. And so I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think about the fact that you are not saying, how many of you are afraid of no? You're afraid to tell someone no. No period, by the way. No period, complete sentence. The only other thing you need to say is maybe no thank you, period, complete sentence. So many of us are afraid to say, no, that's not for me. No, thank you, I appreciate you asking, but no, not right now. No, that's not one of my priorities. The thing is only when you say no can you start to effectively say yes to yourself. And the first baby I is that people don't have the ability to say no to the things that aren't meant for them, the things that don't serve them. The other thing I want you to think about, this is the other baby I will get to on another day, is your inability to properly qualify and dequalify opportunities and people showing up. We need filters. We need to have boundaries. We need to have non-negotiables. We need to know whether or not someone is for us. And sometimes we say yes even when that pit in our stomach is saying, ooh, no. So I'm going to talk about that another day. Today I want to talk about the inability to say no. And so for some of you, one of your homeworks coming out of this, good morning, Cynthia. I want you to realize that the no is one of the best gifts you can receive, and it's one of the best gifts you can give out. Because here's the thing. Think about what happens when someone says yes to you and they're not fully committed. They really don't want to do it. What's the likelihood that they're going to show up full out and give the best of what they have to whatever your cause is, to your project, to your whatever? No, they're going to show up and they're going to half-ass, and they're going to either complain or be resentful. They're going to be like whiny. They're not. Think about that, and think about that you are projecting that same kind of energy when you say yes to things that you really want to say no to. And you know when that happens. You'll say yes, and then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Now look at my calendar. I'm completely jammed up. Now I have no space for myself. Good morning, Mateo. And I want you to realize that you can feel into that. And so one of the things I want you to think about, and for some of you, this is going to be a tough challenge, and I'm going to throw the gauntlet down right now. I want you to think about when somebody asks you anything, that you always say no first and give it room to breathe. And so some of you need at least 24 hours. You need to be like, you know what? I need to think about that. Can I get back to you tomorrow? So you push it off so you can think about it. Or say, if someone says, no, I need to know now, then you say, no, I can't give you an answer now because I don't know whether or not this fits with everything that's going on. So say no first. By the way, some of you will feel like that's so mean and you're not serving and you're not being available for people. Yeah, you'll get over that. I will tell you that once you start saying no, you will realize that that is an incredible gift. Because think about it, if you can't show up 100%, if you don't have joy in your heart, if you're not showing up from a place that says, I want to serve, this is something that feels really good to me and I love this and I get fired up and I get passionate, you're going to show up as a reflection of the crap or the space that you're spinning in. Otherwise, if you're not showing up in that space, your energy, your connection, your commitment affects how you choose to show up and how you choose to serve. And so if you think, good morning, good morning, Song. Good morning. On Friday video was thinking it was today. Went to the almost the end. Oh, that's so funny. Yes, I am on every day. For those of you, I got a lot of new people today. This is awesome. Just so you know, I show up every day. I'm here at 7:30 Monday through Friday. We are having just different kinds of conversations and discussions. So as I do that, I'm gonna take a quick breath and take a sip of my tea. Today's a tea day, so it should be tea time, right? Instead of coffee. But I'm curious, what shows up for you guys? How many of you struggle with saying no? How many of you are truly feeling like your calendar is jammed up, where there's days where you're like, I don't even know when I'm gonna go to the bathroom? And I know, because that was my life when I was in corporate. There were times I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to use the restroom today because I'm triple booked for a good portion of my day, and then I'm triple booked after that. And so how many of you really, truly, this is kind of a wake-up call for you that you're like, ooh, it's time for me to manage and own my calendar so that it can be a tool to serve me versus me feeling like I'm a victim. Because there's too many people walking around going right now telling me, oh, my Google Calendar runs my life. Oh, Outlook runs my life. I want you to hear what you're saying. Your calendar, an app, a tool that's available to you on a computer or on your phone is running your life. How crazy is that? And I'm going to be really direct with some of you because some of you need the little fire under your tushy this morning to recognize what's getting in your way. So how many of you are sitting there saying, ooh, because you know my whole job is sometimes I got to light a fire under you so you can light the fire within you. And so, Song, I do sometimes have a hard time saying no. Yes, you know, it's human nature. We want to please. We want people to like us. How do we, Melissa, how do we do that in places where no is not well received? Yes, and for those of you in environments where no is not well received, it takes even further practice and even further conviction around saying no and giving nothing else. And I know in the corporate space this is extremely challenging. Like I said, this is part of what created my rock bottom for me. And what I want you to realize is letting go of the need to want to justify, rationalize, explain, or apologize. Because that is one of the most detrimental things that happens in corporate, because we are in, or any environment that's not receiving the no. We sit there because someone looks at us like, how dare you say no? We automatically, because all the butterflies, all the stuff in our stomach and all the internal noise starts to creep in, and then we start to apologize. We start to justify, we start to rationalize, and what that does is that allows a way for someone to weed in There are ways that you can say that. One is to simply say, no, that doesn't align with the priorities I have on my plate right now. One of the things you can do for higher ups, and this is something that I practice a lot, and I will say at first it's not always well received, but when they acknowledge the fact that they have some ownership in this too, it changes the game. So oftentimes I would have somebody come in and go, Candy, I need this right now. I'm like, great, I already have 3 other priorities I'm working on. They're like, yeah, I need this. I'm like, great, then help me understand which of these 3 is falling off my plate, because I can only have so many things that are my priorities at one time. So if this is now the hot thing I have to be in, then tell me which one of these other things I can let go, because I can only have 3 priorities at one time so that I'm doing my best and highest work. And I will oftentimes put that back on somebody to say, do you want me performing at my highest and best level, or is this just an exercise in, because corporate in particular is really good in the, well, you just need to do more stuff. And I remember having a conversation with one of my managers at one point. She's like, Candy, you need to produce more stuff. And I'm like, I'm not even exactly sure what that means. And she said, you know, you need to output more stuff. And I said, so is there anything wrong with the quality of what I'm doing? She's like, no, there's just not enough stuff. I'm like, so you want me to create stuff just to have quantity of materials I'm putting out? I'm like, I can either do my job or I can, and so there's this politics posturing thing that go on. The other thing, and I will tell you, is oftentimes we let that be our story. I have many people, and in fact, even in the same environments that you're in, Melissa, I have many people who have challenged and said, I can't say no because it's not accepted. It's amazing when you start saying no, and you say no, thank you. You say, no, that's not mine right now. No, that doesn't fit with these other priorities. And right now my priorities are this, this, and this. Maybe it's hitting OP, maybe it's whatever. And you simply put it out there and say, help me understand why this is a priority and where this fits in the mix of everything else. Or the other thing is when somebody puts something on you, for example, and they're like, hey, can you do this tomorrow? And you're like, no. And they're like, well, I need it tomorrow. And you're like, well, help me understand when you really need it. And most people, by the way, put urgency on you for one of 2 reasons. One, because they're not managing their own focus and time effectively, so that they waited till the 11th hour to get a quote from you or to get something else, which is bullshit. Or they're so afraid that they got all these pieces they're juggling that they have a timeline a week out and they're not giving you an opportunity to prioritize. So I will always push back on somebody that's making something an urgent request. I will ask them, what's your real deadline? And if it is tomorrow, then I'm going to say, how come I'm only seeing it now? Because someone's lack of preparation does not constitute or warrant an emergency. Now, there's always the one-off, but when people expect that, you teach people how to respond. And it's the same thing I teach people when their need is to answer their phone every time it rings, or when that email comes in, because here's some of that ability to say no, and even practice saying no for yourself when it comes to your emails and your phone. Voicemail is one of the greatest inventions in the world. It gives you space to respond instead of picking up your phone the minute it goes off with whatever energy you have and being like, what? And like plugging it instead of saying, you know what, I want to see what that's about before I respond. It's okay to give it space. Email, 24 to 48 hours in response time, not 24 to 48 seconds or minutes. And what happens oftentimes is we get caught up saying yes and things because we're responding before we gave ourselves the pause. And I want you to think about the power of the pause. If you need to start saying no for yourself first, no, I'm not going to answer that email as soon as it comes in. I'm going to start turning off my notifications because some of that is getting you completely wound up so that you're like, yes, 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 yes. And you're in a constant responsive and reactionary space that you're not grounding yourself so that you can show up in your highest and best level. Good morning, Terry. And you can then prioritize and say yes to the things that matter most. Because here's the thing, until you reclaim your life, until you take your personal power back, no one can do it for you. And as long as people know that they can keep dumping on you, guess what they will. And if they can guilt you into it, shame you into it, make you feel bad, if they can sit there and poke holes in your excuses or your apology, they're going to do it, because we live in a culture where people don't want to take that ownership, where they don't want to take their own time, they don't want to take their own responsibility, and so it's just easier to push it off, right? And so I want you to think about that. It starts with you saying no for yourself, to say, no, that's not okay with me. And one of the things you can do inside that space is creating your non-negotiables and creating your boundaries. And I'm going to give you a couple examples, but I want to see what all of you, because you guys are firing up the chat today. Awesome. I love Mondays. So Martha, so relevant. I am strategizing on time management this week. Yes. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about focus management versus time management in just a minute. I want to change that frame just a little bit because too many of us are doing time management, which is another thing that's got our calendar jammed up. Mateo, for practical business application of this power, I set global meeting rules of engagement for my team, coworkers, and vendor. Amen. I empower everyone to decline meetings that do not have enough lead time, summary of purpose, clear agenda, expected outcomes, and the right audience. Yes, yes, yes. And for those of you, especially in corporate environments where you are on TCONs for TCONs of TCONs, you need to be able to say no. And yes, somebody's going to push back because they believe, and it's the space of how does this affect what I'm doing or what can I contribute? And if it's something where you're like, hey, I can send a couple bullets, here you go, here's my contribution, you need to start to decide where and how you're spending your focus. And I'm gonna go back to what Martha just said in a second. Focus versus time, and I'm gonna talk about why that's important. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Simmerjet. Good morning, David. Oh, I love everybody jumping on. Good morning, Julianne. Man, oh, this is beautiful. Melissa, love this, Candy. Sometimes when you do a good job, you're rewarded with do more. Oh, that is so true. I want some of you to think about how many times when you step up to the plate and you over deliver, how is it that you get rewarded with more stuff on your plate when you are always the go-to person? I will tell you, and I'm going to give you an example. I worked in a corporate, and some of you are going to know which company this is. Great. And I worked for a Fortune 100 company back in my corporate career who had this whole thing about rack and stack, right? It was all you wanted to be in the top 10%. That was the aim. That's what they tell you coming in the door. Let me tell you how much bullshit that is. What you really want to do, when I learned this as I hit burnout in that organization, sometimes you don't always want to be at the top of the top of the top, because when you're the person that's always noticed, when you're the go-to person, when you're the person that's always excelling, you get rewarded with more stuff that gets piled on your plate. The best space to be, you don't want to be in the bottom 10% because those are the people that get knocked out, but you want to be an A player in the middle, because when you can do your job, you can do your job really well and still get noticed for promotions and those things. You're not getting all the downhill dump of everything else because you're not the top of the top of the top. When you are known as the go-to person, you get rewarded with more stuff. And it's amazing to me how many people, that's like their measure of success, their measure of self-value is how many plates can they be spinning? How much stuff can they take on? And I want you to realize that all that's doing is it's depleting your energy sources. It's depleting your magnificence, your brilliance, your highest and best gifts that you can be delivering. Because who's got space for that when all you're doing is everybody else's jumping around? When you are handling everybody else's delegation, I want you to think about the fact that you cannot lead if you're being led. And when you are already in your phone and your email and those things first thing in the morning, and you are not creating space, and this is why your bookends are so critical, how you start your day, how you end your day. If you are not being fully committed to what's non-negotiable for you in your time, if you're not taking time to recharge through the day, you will never be able to play at your highest and best level, and I want you to realize that. So Terry, I have been practicing no for 20 years, and most of the time I'm my worst enemy. Because yes is fun or sparkly. Ooh, yes, shiny squirrel syndrome. Saying no as not now, but seems to be my best approach far. Yes, you can say no, not right now. You can say no, this is not for me right now. Ask me again in a couple months. Ask me in a couple. Right now, no. Email is not a process. Yeah, email is everybody else's jumping ground. Email is a space where people that don't want to do their stuff delegate it out, and they do it passive aggressively through email, and they've got people jumping through hoops saying yes to all kinds of nonsense without having proper conversations, without getting clarity, and it's one of the things that gets all kinds of stuff going on. Kathy, makes spaces for the yeses. Yes, I love that. You can only make space for yes when you say no. And so to go back to what Martha said for a minute about time management, right? Creating space and being diligent there. I want you to think about changing that to focus management. Because when you are truly managing your time, you are in a position to be watching the clock. You're watching how every minute is accounted for. You're watching how every second is going by. And it's all about tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, right? So it's a matter of when you are doing time management, you are managing the clock, versus when you're looking at focus management, you begin to manage your impact. And so I want you to think about the difference between managing time and managing your impact. Because when you're managing your impact, when you get really clear about this is the value I bring, this is my highest and best talents, this is my gifts, my strengths, my light, and I bring that forward, you start to say no to anything that dilutes that space, anything that's getting in the way, anything that's just noise. And you start to say, I'm going to honor that this is the opportunity. And so, for example, and I've shared this before, but people that are interviewing sometimes, they're like, well, what do I say when they ask me if I multitask? I'm like, you answer and say, actually, I don't. They're like, so how do you think you do? Well, how's the question usually go? So tell me about how you do multitasking, how well you, and I always tell people, and I've done this in my past interviews, I don't multitask. I prioritize so that I can put full attention and energy on the things that require my highest and best talent so that I can make sure I'm delivering the results this company needs for the position you're hiring me for. Bam. Mic drop. Here's the thing. People think, oh, spinning plates is what we want you to do. No, they want you to achieve an outcome that's going to help them get results. The only way to do that is to start to get really clear to say, how does this affect the outcome of what we're trying to deliver? This is noise. Good morning, Michael. Love everybody jumping on. We got so many new people this morning. This makes me excited. And so let me see, what are the rest of you saying? So I want you to think about that. I want that to just kind of land and drop in. Kathy Smith makes faces for the yeses. Yeah, I already said that. I love that, love that, love that. Worth repeating. Martha, yes, hi, Terry, I get that. It can be, yes, absolutely. A part of one, intentionality is the key. Yes, you stepping up and being intentional, you getting clear on your standards of integrity, you getting clear on your non-negotiables and boundaries. I've had people in corporate. I had a colleague of mine who, he was really grumpy about how he had to get his girls ready in the morning. And his wife had to be at work sooner than he was. And it was one of those, it was like, you have the opportunity to be their first influence every day. He now gets off. He has said no to every TCON that is in any window of that hour and a half that is him and his girls prepping for their day, because that is sacred time. He knows that he is their role model. He knows that he gets to be the first person to influence them, to pour into them, and nothing is going to get in his way as a result of that. So he's made that a non-negotiable. And I will tell you, he's had no problem being promoted, even in saying no. Here's the thing. I want you to look at every executive that maybe you admire. They have learned the art of saying no. The only way you can play at the top of the pyramid is to say no. They don't apologize when they say no to a meeting. They don't apologize when they simply say no, and they say no, period. Because here's the thing. You're going to keep staying in that space where, you're just the dumping ground. If you want real leadership starts with saying no and creating those spaces, as Kathy said, for the yeses. It's the intentionality of how you choose to show up, how you choose to serve, and how you take personal responsibility inside that space. The no makes space for the yes. Absolutely. Good morning, Maurice. I love this. Let's see, Mateo. Absolutely not. Email is a conversation. It can request, update, or confirm. But your entire process in email is, yes, I agree. It's not that email is bad. Email is absolutely, it's a tool like anything else. But if you're having conflicted conversations or initial conversations to get clarity, email is not the best space to be having those conversations. In fact, I'm adamant with a lot of my clients, you do not have any kind of charged, conflicted conversation via email. It's a two-dimensional space instead of that three-dimensional with energy, body language. Get on a video call if you have to. And it is not a space to hand down something that requires a lot of clarity, that if you got to go back and forth that email, pick up the damn phone, get on a video conference, or better yet, get together so that you can actually feel into that and make sure that you're understanding what's required or what's being asked. Email is a great tool, and it is also a cesspool for where we allow ourselves to hide. We play a very passive-aggressive conversation and game, and we are creating this dumping ground that we are just like, yes, 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 right? It's creating this responsive reactionary trigger that's giving us anxiety, overwhelm, frustration, jamming up our calendar, all of those things, right? That it is awesome. I bet your people love you for this and that it gets the right results. Oh, I love that. You cannot lead if you're being led. Absolutely. You have to put yourself in a position to lead. It's not to say that you won't follow another leader, but it's to say that you're clear of who you are as a leader first. If you are not creating space to hone your leadership, to put yourself in a space to say, this is how I choose to show up and serve. This is my, good morning, Ruben. This is my non-negotiables. This is my boundaries. This is what I say yes to. This is what I say no to. You will always be in a position to be led versus ever putting yourself powerfully and intentionally in a place to lead. And I want you to think about that. Yes. Paul, good morning. Good morning. Song, thanks so much for the reminders, helping me be more aware of me. I love this. Terry, in response to Melissa, maybe shift a bit. You can't lead if you're being controlled. My best losses led me. Which direction, priorities, and information that led me to lead to the outcomes we needed. If leaders would lead at every level, we'd all be happy. Yes, and Terry, the thing is, the reason that you were able to be led by those other leaders is because you put yourself in a position to lead first. You cannot just follow the lead of other people when you don't know who you are as a leader, when you haven't stepped into a space to determine what leadership looks like for you, because the only real effective way that you can be led is to be leading first. And that may be leading your own energy, leading how you're showing up, leading how you're choosing to serve, leading what your non-negotiables are, leading with what your voice is, whatever that might be. Yes, and just know that that space of being led happens first when you stand in a powerful position of leadership yourself. And so I really want you guys to think about that for a minute. Good morning, Christina. Let's see, agree. Say no, show value. Say no, show value. Lather, rinse, repeat. Amen. Got an 8:15 call. We'll watch the rest later. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, and we're going to close this out. Nice to see you, everybody on here, because I promised you a gift. It is my birthday month. And I am excited to celebrate. We're going to celebrate all month long. So at various times, I'm going to put some amazing announcements, specials, gifts, opportunities out there. And twofold, those of you that are in the Yes Monthly program, first of all, we have a Facebook Live Q&A question or Q&A call tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on my other page on our private Camp Candy Rockstar Students page. So there will be some gifts that I'm offering for those of you that show up live on that call. It's an opportunity to do Q&A on our last training topic, which was growth mindset, or our training topic before that, which was on limiting beliefs. So for those of you that are in Yes Monthly, 7 o'clock tomorrow, we will be doing Facebook Live Q&A, and I will be offering some more bonuses and gifts then. For those of you not in Yes Monthly, I have a really sweet opportunity and gifts, multiple gifts for you. And for those of you in Yes Monthly, you will be getting these as well as extra bonuses for when you joined up before. So for those of you that have been kind of teetering on the Yes Monthly program, which is really a powerful space, these conversations are amazing. I show up every morning, yes, and we have some deep training and deep mindset and deep tools that we can get into to help you really elevate the game in Yes Monthly that is very different than what I do here. And so for those of you that have been kind of like, maybe I'm going to make that pot really sweet, because for those of you that sign up in July, and by July 15th, which carries you through my birthday weekend, I am going to offer 2 of my other programs as gifts on top of that. So if you sign up for the Yes Monthly program, and I'm going to drop that in here in the chat room so you can see what it is. Maybe I'm going to do that fit. No, maybe not. Oh, there we go. And I am going to give you 2, and they're going to play really well into what we just talked about, 2 other programs, and it will only happen this month through the 15th, and that is my Yes Ideal Calendar system. I am going to gift you the entire system, which is $197 value. I am going to gift that. It is going to help you with your focus management. It is going to help you create your bookends. It's going to help you prioritize. It's going to help you build out your ideal day. For those of you who join the Yes Monthly, I'm giving that to you for free as a gift. I am also going to gift you my Jumpstart Your Yes program, which is going to take all of this work we've done around the noise, and I'm going to give you some deep training on that piece so that you can really get in and get the tools you need to start effectively saying yes to yourself, start saying no to the things that don't matter, clear out some of the noise. We're going to do that in the Yes Monthly in even deeper capacity, and you're going to get those 2 supplemental programs. Together, it's almost $400 worth of free gifts for you just for signing up for Yes Monthly. Yes Monthly is a space where I know that we can really dig deep. I know the value of what we're doing. For those of you already in Yes Monthly, I will be sending an email out today. You will be getting 2 notifications. You will be getting access to both those programs. But for those of you who really want to take this work to the next level, I want to make this so just absolutely juicy for you. So like I said, through July 15th, you signing up, you get birthday gifts from me, which is both my programs, the Yes Ideal Calendar, which will help you. It is without a doubt the most powerful thing you'll do for your own focus management, and my Jumpstart Your Yes, which is digging in deep to the Destroy the Noise aspects and components that we've talked about. So that is the first gift I'm offering for the month. I am super excited. For those of you who know that the Yes Monthly is only $97 a month, so you're getting all of that. There's $400 of bonuses free as gifts, my gifts to you, to say welcome to our community, come join us, and happy birthday to all of us who have July birthdays. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Happy birthday. Oh, Terry, thank you. Yes, I believe in over-delivering. I want to just keep adding value. So I hope to see you all. For those of you that do jump in, join us tomorrow. I've got some more bonuses, more gifts, more surprises, and we're going to have some great conversation. I will be back again tomorrow for another Facebook Live. We're going to continue to talk about Destroy the Noise. But in the meantime, once again, sign up for Yes Monthly. Get two free gifts as a result. My entire Yes Ideal Calendar system and my Jumpstart Your Yes. So with that, everybody, I love y'all. Happy Monday. Super excited. Love everybody that's new that's jumping on. And stay tuned because I got surprises all month long. And we have some great topics and conversations. So with that, sending you all huge heart hugs. Mwah. Love you. Take care. See y'all tomorrow.